Wall Street Journal is reporting tonight a bit of breaking news that the president has signed off on a plan to strike Iran's nuclear facilities. That is where we start tonight, and that likely means the Fordo facility, the only Iranian nuclear facility that Israel can't quite get to, requiring our American $4 million bunker buster bomb and a stealth bomber to drop it. And now, of course, we're seeing the New York Times saying that Iran is ready to meet. Obviously, they want to stall as long as possible and try to get into another weeks-long negotiation. Not surprising. So it could be a very interesting night. It could be a very interesting couple of days as we watch the skies over Israel and also over Iran at 2 o'clock in the morning in the Middle East. That's Tel Aviv right there on the screen, a live picture. The New York Post is reporting some new polling today from JL Partners that 65% of MAGA Republicans support strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities. 51% of generic Republican voters also support the strikes on the nuke program of the world's largest sponsor of terrorism. But over the past few days, the president has taken some tremendous heat from the MAGA coalition that he himself created. Some huge names in MAGA world. We talked about this last night. Tucker, Steve Bannon, Marjorie Taylor Greene, all preemptively criticizing the president for dragging the United States into another Middle East forever war, regime change, nation building, and all the nonsense that we have seen in this country over the last 30 years. And they sound good as they say it because nobody wants to see that stuff. The only problem is pretty obvious if you know the man that's running the White House right now. If you think about what he's said over the years, what his politics are, that he clearly has no intention of doing that at all. He has no intention of dragging this country onto another escapade in the Middle East that takes 10 or 15 years and trillions of dollars and leaves us weaker than where we started. Think about what he believes and what he says. He again clarified earlier today. Take a listen.
We're looking for a long time. Yeah, we're looking. I only want one thing. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. That's it. I'm not looking long-term, short-term. And I've been saying that for 20 years. I've been saying it as a civilian who got a lot of publicity. People would cover it. Very simply, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. That's it.
That's it. This is not Iraq. This is certainly not Afghanistan. There's no agenda for a long, drawn-out war, regime change, nation building, all of that. The Israelis have already done much of what Trump wants to see in a matter of 6 days. Right now, Trump is shaking up Iran's leadership to put them in a panic, to force a full capitulation. And if he can't get that, and he probably won't, it sounds like he's ready to greenlight a speedy operation to knock out the nuclear program and just walk away. A very, very, very weakened Iran won't have a great amount of options in that moment. The plan is already playing out. 3 Iranian jets filled with negotiators flew to Oman today, despite the fact that Israel has control of the airspace. They got out, scrambling for a deal with Israel and the U.S. Their country's frailty is now fully exposed. Iran is like the little barking dog on the street. It's a lot of noise, ain't much bite behind it. Many of Iran's senior leaders are already dead. Their top scientists are dead. Trump was talking about how they could take out the Ayatollah like that. Would not be hard. Nuclear sites are blasted. With Iran isolated now, they're not going to get any help from Russia. Trump wants a full surrender.
2 very simple words. A very simple, unconditional surrender. That means I've had it. Okay, I've had it. I give up. No more. Then we go blow up all the all the nuclear stuff that's all over the place there. No, they had bad intentions. For 40 years they've been saying death to America, death to Israel, death to anybody else that they didn't like. They were bullies. They were schoolyard bullies. And now they're not bullies anymore, but we'll see what happens.
There it is. Surrender, and we shut down your nuclear program together, or Israel and the United States are going to do it with bombs, which could lead the regime to lose control of its country. A reminder that these are the people that we are dealing with. These are members of Iranian parliament. That's their government. This is a common occurrence in their country. That's something to see. And while it's true that we have heard Benjamin Netanyahu for 30 years tell us that Iran is close to having a nuclear bomb, clearly he has an agenda, right? We know that. Not going to hide that from anybody. That doesn't mean that Trump is making the wrong decision in this moment. The president today indicated again that he believes Iran truly is now very close. You had to know at some point they were going to figure it out. The Obama nuclear deal gave them like a 24-day window to hide everything before an inspection. They've been enriching uranium for quite a while. They're going to figure it out at some point. They just are. So just because Netanyahu said for 30 years that they're close to having one doesn't mean that they're not close now. And while they couldn't hit the United States, even if they had it, they couldn't deliver it here, they could hit Israel with it. And tens of thousands of American citizens living there would vaporize. Tens of thousands of people. There's hundreds of thousands of Americans that live in Israel, American citizens, that Trump is responsible for, even though they don't live inside this country. Trump is responsible for them. They're citizens here. They're our people. They would. The president hates war. He said it over and over again. There's like a billion sound bites of him talking about how much he hates what the Bush family did to this country, forever wars, all this nonsense. That hasn't changed. He is who he is. He's authentic, if nothing else. He's also a political savant, unlike anything we've ever seen. He understands the optics of this. He knows after all the things he said for all those years that doing something like this is going to make some people nervous, and obviously it has. Some of his biggest supporters are very nervous tonight. There's a reason that he's doing it. He's not stupid. There's a reason he's doing it. He has a lot more information than the MAGA influencers on X who are criticizing him right now. Today, the president said that Tucker Carlson actually called him and apologized.
My supporters don't want to see Iran have a nuclear weapon. Tucker's a nice guy. He called and apologized the other day because he thought he said things that were a little bit too strong, and I appreciated that. It's interesting because I did ask Tucker, I said, well, are you okay with nuclear weapons being in the hands of Iran? And he sort of didn't like that. He didn't want to really, but he sort of didn't like that. And I said, well, if it's okay with you, then you and I do have a difference. But it's really not okay with him.
It's not. Tucker is a contrarian. That's what makes him interesting. So he's contrarian on this, and that's kind of the thing. That doesn't make him right. He's right a lot. Smart guy. He can be wrong. And think of the upside here if Trump and Israel work together and rip the guts out of this Iranian regime. Think of the potential upside for this country, for the world. One of the biggest accomplishments of the first term was the Abraham Accords, right? Bringing so much of the Arab world together with Israel through one thing that they have in common, which is money, wealth, commerce, things like that. The Saudis are reportedly very close to joining that as well. The Crown Prince likes Trump. He hates Iran. There's a lot of things that are changing. If you want to see peace, we have a whole new government that's forming in Syria. Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis are bankrupt. We're now seeing why the Middle East was the first foreign trip on Trump's agenda after winning the election. It makes sense in a way. Imagine Iran neutered and the rest of the Middle East united by the Abraham Accords, with somebody strong in the White House keeping the peace. Imagine peace in the Middle East. Brought to you by Donald Trump. You know, everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt tonight on Newsmax.